What the hell am I going to talk about for real? All right, here we go. We're here. It is April 21st. Can't believe it's April 21st, to be honest with you. Well, I got to be honest with you. I mean, honest with you, that kind of thing. But anyhow, it's April 21st. It's a Thursday. It's a Thursday. Thursday's my night, my meeting night, actually. I do a couple of different things on Thursday nights. It's a Toastmaster night on the second and fourth Thursday, that public speaking thing. And then the third Thursday, that's this one, is the support group meeting for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation that I co-facilitate. And maybe that should be the topic here today, trying to figure this one out. Hey, Shari, there you go. And it's Earth Day. Who knew? Shari, pleasure to have you here, Shari. As I mentioned about the foundation, charity events, stuff like that, different fundraisers, all the rest of that. One thing that certainly has been consistent with that, and I mean the fundraising side of it, the nonprofit side of things. Tomorrow is Earth Day. Thanks. Getting information wrong, that's been consistent on my side of it too. But the folks that are involved with the nonprofits, folks that are involved with volunteer organizations like the Dragster folks, Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, that support group, the charity walks, different kinds of fundraisers. Everybody's trying to help everybody else. And that I understand. The other side of it, I just don't get. I really don't get. Some of these problems we have around the world, it's like, come on, folks. We have absolutely proven out that the supply chain affects everybody along the whole way through, without a doubt, the whole way through. Look, there's been products that have been a challenge to get because they didn't have glass to make glass jars. And you're thinking, oh my, how does that work? Or how can you not have glass? I think my experience within this country, it's that we take so many things for granted. But right, so we're not recycling glass as much as we used to because it wasn't as cost effective for somebody around up and down the food chain. So now all of a sudden, work your way through the whole darn thing. You can't get your product because there's no glass jar for that product. Oh, you're like, wow, what a disappointment, right? How many jobs are lost on that one, right? How about the folks that actually make that old glass jar into a new glass jar? That's a lot of jobs that have disappeared. And then those that manufacture the new one and make the label for that product, which is not being sold because they can't get that product, all the rest of that stuff, the delivery of the product, the sales of the product, et cetera, the folks that drive that product in a truck someplace, everything impacts everything. Like, I think that, from a worldwide standpoint, we've shown that again here too, with this, if I use the word issue, I'm going to get lambasted for not making it what it is, but this war of Russia against Ukraine, which is actually a war that goes much, much more than that, but it's impacted everything. Yeah, let's not go crazy over there. Have gas prices gone up just because of that? No, I don't think so. And a whole bunch of other things. So let's kind of skip the politics if that's at all possible, on that one. But we all are impacted by everything that we all do. So why is it? Why is it that we're not spending more time, energy, and effort focusing on those that are helping people, that good news kind of thing, that teamwork kind of thing? And maybe that's what part of it that draws me, part of the story that draws me to many of these things. And maybe it's even more so the volunteer activities rather than the get paid activities. All right. My accountant probably would prefer me spend more time with the get paid activities than the nonprofit activities. Okay, that very well could be a thing. So working on that aspect of it. But those people that are involved with the volunteer activities, that project, that long-term project, man, they're in it because they want to see something improve. They want to see something improve. Could you imagine the what if on this one? What if the world actually operated that way? Boy, think about what we could really achieve if the whole town kind of pulled together. Think about that old town barn raising thing. How did somebody build a barn in the 1800s that's really tall? Get the whole darn community out there to help build the barn. Is that creating competition with somebody someplace? Maybe it is. Uh, you know, but everybody's helping everybody. That kind of thing. Instead of getting these massive disruptions along the way. And that's not it. So there's been a few topics that I've discussed publicly, maybe privately, all the rest of that stuff, and why we should be helping out, different areas, not giving out, but helping out different areas because it's good for everybody. It's just as good. It is good. But why is this stuff not being covered? Why is it all a little bit more behind the scenes? Why do you have to go to religious organizations to see that happen? How many schools, churches, mosques that are involved in that whole thing? Gosh, I know when I go, I got to go more frequently. I get that. So, Rabbi, if you hear this one, I'll go more frequently. But even in those sermons, we'll call it, the discussions that take place over there, there is that balance of everything. It's a balance of work, balance of study, and balance of giving, balance of being part of the community. You want to talk about the church side of things? I'd like to bring somebody on to talk about the church side of things. I'm not a church going individual, but I've seen what these churches have done and what some of these groups have done within there. Got a friend that's very involved with the AA meetings at a church. At a church, been there. Come to think of it, the food programs, these, the meals that they prepare. Actually, been in a few of the church, one of the churches down in Port Jefferson for that. Incredible, incredible the amount of volunteers that show up to do every little aspect of the whole thing, and those companies that donate the food to it to make it work. And the people show up. Everybody's so grateful, kind, considerate, friendly. It's just great. It is great. They didn't let me cook. They let me clean. They didn't let me cook. Hey, whatever. We all have different skills or lack of skills as that goes. But a friend of mine is a chef. And yeah, he prepared the food. I cleaned up, doing that. But so it's those organizations that are out there doing more and more and more. We want to talk about news. Let's go with this whole thing. Well, what the heck, right? So we're talking about news, right? You would talk about, the news is fake news, the rest of that stuff. I don't know about fake news. Maybe there is some crap that's out there as it goes along. Biased? Oh, very much so. Where is the news biased toward? It's biased towards its listeners, its viewers, its subscribers, however you get your news, whatever, however that goes through. You could throw in any kind of a category of that one to label as to who you are as a relationship to that. But boy, it just seems to be, and it always has been, right? You're going back with the old newspaper days. Can't believe I said that, but yeah. Newspapers, printed newspapers. That's another thing going by the wayside. But what was it? If it bleeds, it leads. There's a lot of truth to that. It's an awful lot of truth to that. So now since news is just not a newspaper, or it's not just the three major channels, those three major networks that we all listen to. It's all over the place. You get news from all over, any place, anywhere. But it's always the extreme stuff that boosts listenership, where that increases those ratings, those Nielsen ratings, and all the rest of that stuff. So what do? If you're the owner of one of these stations, or if you're a YouTuber or something like that, you're going to go for stuff that's more extreme. If you got an extreme story, all the better. There's a couple of these YouTubers that I listen to that they're extreme stories. I enjoy listening to it. It's different. That's how I got to meet you know, Shlomi and the other guy. I forget his name, but he goes into different areas, and he meets, and he interviews, and he walks you through some of these more challenging neighborhoods, some of these gang neighborhoods, and some of the gangs. Another guy that flat out was a mobster. He changed his way of living completely. Another guy, a jewel thief. Talks about all that stuff. You know what? Maybe I'm guilty. Maybe I shouldn't be listening to this stuff. But it's interesting to see what the other lifestyles like. It's more extreme. Do you just listen to good news? Probably not, right? So if you own one of these news outlets, or you are a YouTuber, or you got a newspaper, or you got a whatever, that kind of thing, it's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to boost listenership? Carry the extreme stuff. I get it. But then all we do is listen to extreme stuff, one way or the other. Now, wouldn't it be interesting? Wouldn't it be interesting if we started listening to that 60% in the middle? Yeah, we'll do the math on this one. So 20% extreme one way, 20% another way. We'll go with that 80-20 rule on this one. Totally not scientific. Totally not scientific. But what the heck? I wonder from far off. Probably smaller percentages on the side. But if you knock out the 20% on one side, 20% on the other side, and I mean in all categories, across the board, wherever it is, and if we really started to focus on that 60%, the folks in the middle, I bet you we have differing opinions. All good. I bet you we have better listening skills than those extremes on both sides. All good. I bet you we'd be able to compromise on a lot of things a whole lot faster. I bet you we'd be spending money on things that are a lot more fruitful than having to send military weapons or support, however that's actually done over there, staying within the NATO constraints, to Ukraine, and to all of the fighting that is taking place in the Mideast in these countries, and to fighting against the extremists in some of these other areas. What if all of that money was actually spent on rebuilding our communities here that are really having problems? What if? Yeah, I remember taking economics classes somewhere along the way in school, whether it was high school or college, whatever, the guns and butter debate. If you got $100, what are you going to spend it on? Guns for defense, or butter for more positive stuff? Is the overall example on that one, if I recall correctly. Man, what if we didn't have to spend so much money in the military? So much money in the military. And I mean, from a world standpoint, right? We probably will always be the world's police and stuff like that. And, whatever, that's the role we've taken. It's the role we're at. So be it, so be it, but what if some of the money peeled off? We could peel off some of the money that's spent on military, and some of the folks that are dedicated their lives and truly dedicated their lives to military, and spun that around where we get a chance to rebuild some of the areas that really need rebuilding. Like, I really wonder what's still going on in Detroit, right? There are certain areas I think that are getting rebuilt, but does anybody even know what's going on with those pipes, the water system? That was a major problem for a while. What's going on there? really, what's happening there? These areas that get devastated by tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, you know, are they actually being rebuilt? Some of our lower income areas, you know, what about those areas getting rebuilt? And I'm not talking handout stuff. That's not really it, but rebuilt, whereas these are places that, can see growth, where people see growth possibilities. Schools are a big deal in my world. Schools at K through 6, there is no excuse in my book. No excuse in my book. Well, schools should not have equal funding, especially at that grade level. Equal funding. If more schools need, you got more single parents in an area and you need the preschool stuff, whatever, just do it. Just do it. Give these kids a chance to really see and participate and get involved in the intramural sports, the after school programs, the during the school, before school programs, stuff like that. Let them achieve their full capabilities. That's great. That's good. What if we did that? What if a newspaper carried that story? Would people care? I sure do hope so. I sure do hope so. But that's another uphill battle, right? It's another uphill battle. Terrible. When do ratings increase? When there's a storm, when there's a fire, when there's a shooting. How many shootings do we have to have here? It's crazy. I saw the statistic on that one, and I don't remember the number off the top of my head. But the amount of mass shootings that are taking place here in the United States are unbelievable. Unbelievable. Why? Why is that? Is it because we have a gun problem? Okay, maybe. Is it because we have a crime problem? Okay, maybe. Or maybe it's something even a little bit further back on that. Maybe we do have that mass shootings problem because these people don't think that they have a possibility of future growth. Maybe that's what the problem is. Why is it that so many people don't want to go to work? Why is it people that are going to work are like, don't want to go? Don't want to go. Right? How many people want to leave their jobs to pursue some other career? Why? Because they're not engaged. They're not doing what they should be doing, the rest of that stuff. Maybe they just fell into a career because they fell into a career and they're getting a paycheck, that job, that just over broke thing, that job. And it's tough to do a job when you're just getting by, when you're not really being able to achieve the stuff that you maybe wanted to achieve when you were back in high school, but then it just didn't happen. And here you are 10, 20, 30 years, 40 years later thinking, you know, I'm just getting paid. I'm just doing what I need to do. I really want to do more. Never was able to do it. Did what I had to do and all the rest of that stuff. Those people, are they getting any kind of gratification at work? No. They're doing it so long, so maybe you don't have a big problem there. But I mean, there was a recent suicide here. It was a teenager. I believe it's a teenager, one of our Long Island schools. It's like, why? Why is that? Why is that? Is that because of? And I really have no idea what the circumstances were behind the whole thing. Is it because the kid didn't see a future and just felt completely left out, not going anyplace, and decided that was the answer? Maybe they're being bullied. Now, why is the kid bullying? Why is somebody bullying? Because I want to feel good about themselves. I want to feel like they're somebody. It's got to be better answers to that whole thing. Got to be better answers. Let's tie the whole thing together. Really, let's tie the whole thing together. So these nonprofits, volunteer organizations, all those folks are really trying to do something, really trying to accomplish something. Not doing it for a paycheck, not doing that. They got their own personal reasons for doing it, but they want to make it better, whatever that is. But they want to make it better. That's the kind of focus that really needs to happen, outside of it. Really need to make it better. The school systems, we need to make it better, right? They have their own constraints, taking tests and all the rest of that stuff. That's it. But If you get yourself involved in one of these career days, you're going in there not to help a student take a test. That's not the answer. That's not why you're there. Even if you're an administrator going there from another school, you're not going there to help them take a test. You're going there to help them figure out why they should take that test, why they should pursue some career, where they should be going to college for a reason, why they should be going to a vocational program for a reason, why they should be looking at what it really takes to be an entrepreneur, for them to really decide, hey, you know what? Maybe I am not cut out to be an entrepreneur. Very well may be the case. I don't want to have to run a business where I got to worry about payroll, employees, putting the lights on, changing the toilet paper, health benefits, all the rest of that. I just want to be able to help people in my own way. Maybe you're that person. So forget about owning your own business. But you want to get yourself involved in a company that and a career that allows you the freedom to do that. Maybe you're cut out to be a salesperson, not because you love selling, it's because you love you providing value. And that's the crux of every elevator pitch. But if you know what value you bring and you go to that company and say, look, here's my skill set. Here's what I've been doing. Here's where I volunteer. Or here's where I've been working, depending upon how old you are, what you're doing. You bring that to the table, man, that company's going to love you. And not only that, you're going to love working for that company if it's a match. So if you do go on a job interview or interview at a company, I should say career interview, look at it like that. Don't look at it as a job. Look at it as a career. Do I want to work at this company? Interview them just as much as they're interviewing you, but interview them. And if they don't like the fact that you're interviewing them, then you want to know something? Maybe that's not the right company to be at. Had that situation happen to me a long time ago. I went in and I asked them questions, not waiting for the end. They ask you a billion and one questions like, oh, do you have any questions for me? Man, I had my questions, that I wanted to know about. I brought my notes of what I wanted to know about. They didn't take kindly to it. So be it. That's where that one went. Other situations, totally different. It's fine to go and do that. But that kind of thing. So when we do these career days, this is what I want you to do, is to go in there with the attitude of, hey, not that my job is great, is that, hey, my job is great for me because of these personality traits, because of these goals I had, because these are the things I wanted to worry about. These are the things I did not want to worry about. It's a big difference. I'll go back to that entrepreneur. If you have that desire, if we could instill upon these students at an early age that desire to pursue and continue to grow, they're going to want to take whatever test that they need to take. They're going to not get involved with bullying. They're not going to bully somebody else either. They're not going to do any of that stuff. They're going to stay focused on, they're going to be engaged. And they're going to be engaged. They're going to grow. They're going to ultimately wind up helping out their community. We just need to make it even up. And they're going to help out that community. And when they do, then they're going to go back and they're going to help others because they have seen that growth. Those are the kinds of people I run across at some of these places. And that becomes just a phenomenal thing. So get involved with a career day. Get involved with a nonprofit. Get involved in something where you're mentoring somebody somewhere along the line. You want to do that through your company? Hey, that's great. Some of these companies do that. They do reach out and support the nonprofits in ways other than just writing a check. Although the nonprofits are always accepting of the checks, without a doubt. But there's also all these different in-kind contributions that you can make. It doesn't have to be money. It can be you, your time, energy, and effort. Habitat for Humanity is actually a phenomenal example of that. Maybe that's the old, or that's the new barn raising kind of a thing. You go in there and you're working alongside your fellow co-workers or other co-workers, or maybe it's your group of friends that are down there, helping out. And you do whatever your skill set allows you to do, which is fine. Maybe mine would be, I don't know, serving food. I'm not good swinging a hammer. But then again, somebody's got to carry the lumber. I'm in on that. Make it work that way. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. There's a lot of stuff that we could use help with. We always need volunteers for for these events. May 1st, we have a walk coming up. You want to volunteer? Great, come down, help out, on that. That'd be fine. You like social media marketing? That's your thing. You want to help out? Share the walk with your community. Help us out when it comes to promoting that event. HIA trade show is coming up. You want to volunteer? Volunteer. Some of those volunteer positions put you in a very unique position where you're now meeting with more of the vendors in a different type of conversation during setup day. You may get a chance to meet a lot of the executives that come down just to see what's going on. If you are in an event planning business, I mean, I think that's probably a great place, to volunteer. You got a resume, you're looking for careers. I mean, again, you really get an idea about what companies are hiring, stuff like that. You get a chance to meet some of the people. So there's plenty of places to volunteer. If you're looking for a job, if you're looking to expand your horizon, even networking and doing that whole thing. It's these volunteers, man. They're the ones that get it. Just go out there. Go out there and volunteer in some respect or another. Because it's those people that could truly make this world a better place. That's what we need to do. We really do need to give everybody what they need in order to continue to move forward. We do really need to look at so many of these government programs, that are just maybe not serving everything altogether too well to make it work that way. A lot of these programs, but will clarify different. So many of our politicians are just, I don't know what the heck they're involved in. They're involved in fighting on TV, maybe for TV time and the rest of that stuff. Our elected officials are different. There is a difference in there. There's a lot of folks that really do care about the community. They really do want to see things improve. There's a difference as to why they're there. That becomes an important thing. Why are they there? For a career standpoint, or because they really want to make a difference someplace and they feel that's the platform for them to do it? That's where it's at. And again, I'll go back to the volunteers. I think that's the cleanest example, of what it is. Sometimes it's a little bit more difficult if you're an employee of a company, but it depends on the company. Just truly depends upon the company. There's so many companies out there that are just really, really trying to do the right thing and doing the right thing across the board. Others, perhaps not. Not that they're bad companies, but they are focused on their goal of running the business in the most profitable way part of it, not just get involved with, with different things. So figure out a way to do that. All right. So tomorrow's Earth Day. I guess that's a good thing. Tomorrow the weather's supposed to be nice too. So that's good. Maybe we'll get outside a little bit, as that goes. And let me just end this with stuff coming up. So where are we at? April 21st. So we got April 27th, Sachem North High School. Still looking for a couple of companies that want to participate in that career day. It is at Sachem North High School, obviously. It is from 9 a.m. to 12 o'clock. If you can make it for that 9 to 12, hey, that's great. If you make pieces of it, that's fine too. Whatever you could do, that'd be nice. But if you do attend, you got whatever you want to give away, whatever you decide to do that way, however you represent your company, you represent your company. But if you do attend that, keep in mind that you're there to inspire the students. You're there to show them what traits, personalities, skill sets, whatever it is that fits your business, and to see if they have those. If not, maybe there's another business for them to fit into. Again, just wide variety of differences. So always looking for a wide variety of businesses to participate with that. It's also what we're doing here with, this is kind of through Maria Fry, the ECNY Corporation, ECNY Foundation, board member of the ECNY Foundation, and you can go to Career Map LI, and in there you're going to see quite a few different industry categories. What we're looking to do is to shoot video for each of those categories on what the personality traits would be for somebody within those industries and within different roles within those industries. So there's a lot of potential there. So again, if you're interested in participating with that one, let me know. So it's that personality traits. That's a big thing there. What you need to have in order to go into some of those industries and some of the jobs within those industries. Because look, if you wanted to go into advertising, there's a big difference between a solo entrepreneur having your own advertising marketing company versus working for an existing larger business that's marketing advertising, or working for a business that has its own advertising marketing department within it. All different kinds of personality traits. It's a lot of flexibility in there to make that work. So that's April 27th. May 1 would be the walk for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. I'll be emceeing that. If you have a business that wants to support that in any way, shape, or form, please let me know. So that's at Belmont Lake State Park, and that is going to be an outdoor walk. Should be a couple of thousand people. We definitely hope for good weather, but even if the weather stinks, which it has been in the past, most of everybody shows that 80% shows. But if it's nice weather, it's even better. And we have everything, all kinds, the ice cream truck, maybe food donations. Definitely need the volunteers, any companies that are in line with folks that have got the different digestive diseases and things like that. So that stuff, is there. So that's May 1. The Miller Business Center has got the Strictly Business event coming up. That's the first week of May. I should be at that one too. Maybe table, maybe not, whatever, but certainly attending. May 26th would be the HIA trade show. So that one is free to register. There's groups that you could join now. If you want to take a table or vendor, sponsor, or anything like that, you got to reach out to Anthony Forgione to do that. That's at Suffolk Community College, the Brentwood campus. There's ways to participate in all these things to better yourself. Once you better yourself, you then have more capability and more potential to then go out and do that other thing and helping somebody else along the line. Whether it's a monetary donation, time donation, whatever it is that you could do, mentorship, all good. Take somebody along with you for a day, show them what it is that you do, any of that kind of stuff. Moxie Network is huge on that. I think they have something coming up right now too. They're looking for people to volunteer to help out with the Moxie Network, as for that one also. Tons of ways. But wouldn't it be cool? Here's the what if, Alex. Here's the what if. What if the world paid more attention to that 60%, the folks in between that just want to see things working better? What if the world would be a much better place? And we'd be able to spend a lot more of our money, resources, energy, effort on the stuff that's going to help propel everybody forward, not just a certain group of people and not leave other people behind, but bring everybody forward. Unrealistic? I don't think so. We get 80% of the way there? Hey, that's not too bad. We can do that. There's my what if. What if? What if? What if you speak well, speak often, and live inspired? What if? You just might inspire somebody else to do that one. So there we go. All right. Yeah, Karen's got it right. Well, I got to agree with you. Great show, but many groups do need help. They're all out there. I think it's. I'll find their website. Maybe we'll chat with that one too. But there's definitely a website out there for doing it. And there was the 100 Women Who Care, that group, which is involved with a whole lot of things. They donate and they help out different nonprofits. But there actually is I think there is a company in there or a nonprofit group that's in there that arranges volunteers to help out other groups. And so there's all kinds of connections with this whole thing. Keep looking that way. All right, do what you can to improve the world. It takes a lot of people. It takes a whole lot of people to make it work. Have a great day. See everybody soon. And we're going to update a whole bunch of photos too from the drag racing. I had to get that in there a little bit. All right, talk to you soon. All right. Oh, we're going to end with